Hello, Christoph. Welcome. Good to have you on the video today. So, Christoph, we're preparing now for the 61850 Week 2021 conference, which we're hoping will take place in person this year in Gothenburg, Sweden. And also we're going to be providing a virtual channel as well for those who aren't able to travel even by then. So 18th to 22nd of October, Gothenburg, Sweden. And what I thought would be great to do today is just to have a quick catch up with you about, what's been going on with the working group activity in the past year, what your current focus is, and what you're going to be talking about at the event itself. So let's start with the past year. It's been quite an interesting year for everyone, I think. So in terms of working group activities, how's the past year really impacted your activities and your, the momentum of progressing the issues? What's it been like?
Well, of course, as you can imagine, we were not able to have any physical meetings since now more than a year. Mm-hmm. If you know how typical our working group meetings work, we are meeting with about 60 to 80 members physically during a full week, having in the beginning half-day sessions on multiple parallel half-day sessions on the different topics we are currently working on. We have about 15 to 20 activities that are going on from the standardization. So a regular meeting was usually these breakout sessions where the different task forces were making progress on the work. And then at the end of the week, we came together, discussed and reported about progress and had some common discussions. Mm-hmm. Not being able to meet physically, that was of course a quite significant change in how we had to do the meetings. Mm-hmm. You can imagine we have members that are somewhere between California, Europe, Asia, including Australia, so all spread over the world. Mm. So the first critical point is already to find a good time slot to have the meeting. Yeah. Which is typically what we figured out somewhere around 3 to 6 Central European time, which makes it quite early for the Californians, which make it quite late for the Asian peoples, and it's still in the middle night for the Australian ones. As that, we can of course not have the full day meetings, so we typically limited our plenary meetings that we had as usual 3 a year. So one typically in January, that was still physical last year. Mm-hmm. Then we had one in June, one in October, November timeframe, and again now in January this year, that were all virtual ones. So we reduced them to a full week of 3-hour sessions every day, and it's basically the report of the progress from the different task forces. So all the task forces have to do their virtual sessions in between, and the plenary is now reduced to a summary.
Right.
One of the problems we identified is, while you can make a lot of progress that way as soon as it gets controversial and you have some technical arguments and discussions, it gets much more challenging when you have to do that over video call than when you can do that in a physical meeting. So solving or resolving disagreements is much more difficult in a virtual conference than in a physical conference.
Right, okay. And so what's been the most urgent issue you've been focused on over the past year?
Well, we tried to close out with some ongoing activities. We closed out, I think, 90-11 logic modeling, 90-14 is about to be finished, the models for HVDC systems, basically. Then 10-3 functional testing is in the finalization. We also had in working group 17 some important progress with DRs. So we closed out a couple of activities that have been going on for a while, and the focus is again as well to finish some of the activities that we started a while ago, mm-hmm. so that we can reduce a little bit the amount of parallel work that we have.
Right. Right, okay. How do you think the community can assist more with resolving some of these issues that you're working on? Is there any more that members can do or assist with?
Well, I think one of the key issues is it's not that we wouldn't have enough members. We have quite a lot of members. The key problem is always we need active members. Active members means we need people that are willing to lead a task, a subtask, a certain work, and that have a certain amount of time to dedicate to get things accomplished. And I think that's something that I notice once in a while. There's always some phases where management in smaller and larger companies, they need to understand that the importance of the standardization work for the progress of the technology. And as such, when they nominate experts to participate in the standardization work, they also need to give them time to really do work to make the industry progress.
Right, okay. How do you think we can influence management to allocate more time? What would motivate them?
Try to convince them from the impact that the progress of the standardization has as well for their business. I mean, new technologies to be applied require some progress as well in the standardization behind. And at the end of the day, that may also impact their business. Yeah.
So just a much clearer link between the standardization activity and commercial outcomes for the companies as well.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Okay, great. Well, this year we've introduced something new to the program for the 61850 week conference, and that is a whole one-day workshop focused on system specification. And we picked this up because we were hearing during our program research a lot of utilities saying that now that we're going into this much more rapid replacement environment, they feel that they need to be able to specify more accurately and at much higher speed. So tell us a little bit about the workshop, because you'll be running it, Christoph, with some support from utilities and suppliers as well. But give us a quick rundown of what the workshop is, the objectives are, and what's going to be achieved.
The objectives are definitely that the participants will understand what IEC 61850 includes as concepts and elements that help them to do the specification already in a partly formalized way, machine processable way. I mean, since the very beginning, IEC 61850 had the concept in that you could, using the system configuration language, also do a specification. The question is a little bit what is contained in that specification and how can I do it? And over the last years, over the progress with the standard, we added a lot of capabilities there to further be able to formalize a complete specification using adequate tools, with the benefit that at the end the utility can send out something to the suppliers that is not only a text document, but that is also using the system configuration language, expressing requirements in a machine processable way, which as an ultimate benefit means when they get the tender back, they can also better analyze to what level the tender fulfills their requirements. And the idea is in this workshop to do a practical example together, how a specification can look, and as part of that, highlight these different new elements that we have added to the standard. So at the end of the day, that the utilities, the participants that participate in that workshop, understand better what 61850 provides them from a specification perspective.
Right, okay. And it should be really empowering for the utilities. They'll just feel a lot more in the driving seat with the specification process.
Yes. Yeah. We have a few utilities that are in some pilot projects already using these concepts. So we try to involve them as well a little bit in the workshop so the participant can hear directly from peers of them that are using this process already, where they see the benefits.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good. And then for your own session, perhaps you can give us a little insight into what you'll be covering during your own standards update during the main conference.
I will, as usual, try to pick out a few of the latest activities where we made progress and the impact, and go in some details on some selected topic. While I did not yet finally decide on the details of the presentation, I think there will certainly be some elements in from the Part 90-11 logic modeling that has been recently completed, which was a long time ongoing work, which has come to an end, and I think it will add a lot of value for the users. I will try to highlight a little bit of what's about in that part. I may also discuss a little bit about some extension work we are doing on the BAP, on the basic application profiles. We have produced a guideline a while ago. Now we add to that the possibility to describe basic application profiles as well from an engineering perspective in system configuration language. So it's a little bit related to the specification part. So I also will try to explain a little bit the concepts behind there.
Right. Okay, sounds great. Well, thank you so much for that insight, Christoph. Great to have you on the call today. And we look forward to your workshop and the presentation in just a few months' time in Gothenburg, Sweden. Thank you so much. You have a great day. Thank
you. You're welcome. And I also look forward to have finally again some real meetings after more than a year of virtual meetings. I think it's really important that we get back to real physical meetings.
Absolutely. All right, Christoph, thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.